I was listening to some music and I figured I'd bring up something. Heck, let's search it. There's a playlist. Yeah, you guys can read my search history on this. Just be lucky you can't look up hentai or futa or anything on YouTube. So, you guys don't have to worry about, having your eyes, what's that SpongeBob meme where the guy's like staring and his eyes are like, it burns. So, yeah. Let's see. But yeah, the point I was wanting to bring up was this playlist here, Topo's Groovy Jams. Now I have everything muted because the point isn't though I do have to say this is still the best game ever made for the PS1. It came with a demo disc of Final Fantasy VIII. And I do feel like a lot of the aesthetics are very interesting between this game and Final Fantasy VIII as well. But I still wanted Brave Fensu Musashi 3 and a Mega Man Legends 3. Also, I feel like there was a lot of extra content that could have existed in this game that was not due to the limitations of... Let's make sure OBS is still actually functioning. Yes, it is. But I feel like there was limitations of what the game could do in terms of what the PS1 could do, as well as how much data you could actually fit on a disc. I feel like there was times where I felt like there was more that the creators of the game wanted to do. Ooh, I like this. So, I was trying to have a serious discussion about the preservation of the arts. And then I see this and I'm like, yay! I did a double thumbs up. None of you guys could see that. But I do want a Brave Fensu Musashi 3 and a Mega Man Legends 3. But the way this is set up, this playlist, Topo's Groovy Jam, this is a really great soundtrack. But you see the art here with this. I find this art to be very, very beautiful. Now, since I'm not playing any music, now some of these songs will still be a bit long anyway, so we'll just skip to the next one. The main thing I'm just trying to show off is
this isn't the garage anymore.
Also, the benefit of it being muted is we don't have to listen to the ads. The ads hurt. Why are ads painful? But it's just, look at this. Look at the art. Now, of course, this game I think is incredible for many, many reasons. One, I like the characters. Even though it's a PlayStation 1, I like the polygonal art. And I always felt like even the games that I enjoyed, and games like this, I think they're essentially perfect as they are. And everything about it is just beautiful and wonderful, and it's... But I always, like I was saying with this game, it's one of those things that you feel... And like I said, I have the music muted, but it's very, very good. The soundtrack is incredible. It's one of the best... Granted, I say that about so many video games, and you guys are like, well, it kind of loses the value if you're always saying how wonderful this music is. But, I like good music, so, a lot of times there's a saying that, if you're going looking for something, you're going to find that something. So, if you're looking for great music and you're looking for games with soundtracks that just are both immersive and wonderful and just... I don't even know the correct words, but you guys know what I mean. Heck, there was a video game made on the PlayStation 1, it also was on Sega Dreamcast, but I had a PS1, called Blam Machine Head. Now, I'll tell you this. Everything about the game is stupid. It's fucking stupid, okay? Everything about the game is so fucking stupid. And the gameplay is terrible, horrible, repetitive, and it's awful, and it's overly difficult as well. Maybe it's a skill issue on my part. I'm not going to deny that. But regardless of any of that, I can say this. It's not a fun game at all. But even subtracting the soundtrack, which is the main reason I bring it up, even subtracting that, I would still consider this game a must-play for anyone that considers themselves a gamer. That being said, while I fucking trash talk every aspect of this game, the main redeeming quality of it is the music. But I would say this, even without the music, I would consider it a must-play for anyone that considers themselves a gamer, just because it is an experience, to say the least. It's kind of like, you don't have to always play a video game to have a good game. You can play it to be an absolute piece of crap, just to actually still be an interesting thing to go into. It's kind of like, you don't always, like, even if you're someone who prefers easy games, you can still play a fucking rage game from time to time. In the same regard, even if you're someone who, like, enjoys challenges all the time, you'll occasionally want to be able to play a game that's something you can just casually zone out on, where, like, if you're playing, you just sort of, like, fall asleep playing, and you wake up, your character's not dead. It's like... Basically, what I'm saying is people can be a bit eclectic in what kind of genres they like and what skill ceiling, what difficulty curve they want. But I'll say this. In Blam, with an exclamation point, by the way, Machine Head, the soundtrack, absolutely, the music, sound design, it's okay. But the music, the actual soundtrack to the game, and oh, that's nice. Heck, I remember seeing an advertisement for a thing called Blue Archive. And I'm like, that's free on Steam. Maybe I could let's play that. Because, you know, I'm poor. But it's just, the music's awesome. And again, the music in this thing, and it came out in like 1997 or something, the music's incredible. Heck, I'm not one to shy away from a game that's, say, graphics are limited or sound is limited. For example, you guys can see the art style here in terms of it's not exactly, you know, realistic, but it looks so good. Whether it be the actual gameplay or even these background arts for these tracks. Everything about it, it's awesome. And the voice acting is so good. Now, granted, there is a Brave Fencer Musashi 2. Came out on the PS2. It was a bit of a spiritual reboot. It was a reimagining of the game. This one takes place in a medieval-type world. You're saving the all-you-can-eat palace from the Thirst Quencher Empire. Whereas the second one, you're saving a bunch of mystic space hippies on a space whale from an evil corporation. The other thing is, like, you see the art style here. And while the PS2 does have some more fidelity to it, it's like a thick, cel-shaded manga style, which in of itself is not bad, but it's just I didn't really care for it. As well as it's a bit oversaturated. The voice acting is so fucking bad. And whereas the music here is like beautiful orchestral music, which you can't hear because I have it muted, and Samurai Legend Musashi, the PS2 one, it's like surf guitar and stuff, which, I mean, it definitely fits for what it is, and it definitely... The vibes match for what that game is. Like, the music suits the art, as well as the music here suits the art. But this game is so much better. I like this game so much more. Heck, I think there was like an interview I'd seen once of Crash Bandicoot, where they made the original 3 games, and this is like the way they had it set up, they didn't even know the PlayStations. They were worried the PlayStations were going to catch fire, and they also had to technically do some things that were unethical in terms of allowing the game disc to sort of borrow memory from the console itself in ways that, well, you weren't really allowed to do. And even then, they had to do certain workarounds, such as fixed cameras and things like that, in order to make it work. Because things like Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, Resident Evil, and Silent Hill were revolutionary for their time in terms of, well, everything. Most of all, the story. But the art style that they had and the technology, it was like fucking space magic compared to what people were used to. It was revolutionary. And granted, there have been remakes of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and I do appreciate that. I always like to see more things of a game. I mean, heck, they're going to have yet another remake of the original Halo, and maybe another game to continue the series, which I have no idea how they're going to do that. But I do dislike if they say censor certain things or try to rewrite the history of a game. But at the same time, I'm not against the idea of adding new features. Like, for example, adding like new skulls or mods, or like imagine if there was a modding community where people could have like custom skulls for the original Halo game. Of course, I certainly imagine it would have an online multiplayer. So it's more like I don't want a video game to basically be fucking butchered, or, and granted, an author of a series, whether it be anime or video games, can change the direction they're going at any point. But the problem is, if you ever have people that really like your work for what they come into and something changes, well, there is some hesitation, especially if they feel like it's a betrayal of what they originally liked so much. It's also why like a lot of musicians who play like, you know, very famous bands sometimes run into issues, because sometimes they'll release a CD or an album where they try to go in a new direction, which on the one hand I'm all for increased creativity, and after all it's their vision, and I'm not one to, you know, really be able to harp on this, because one, I'm not very creative artistic, but I do things, but I'm also very inconsistent in terms of being able to even focus on a single thing. So just sort of jump around, and it's like I tend to just do whatever I feel like. But then again, that's been established since day one, that I was going to basically just play whatever I feel like, or make videos on whatever I feel like. So it's not like there's any lost expectations there. Literally everything I do is really par for the course and to be expected for who and what I am. So it's not like anything should surprise anyone at any point, whether this is the first video of mine you've watched or the 1,000th. That being said, I'm not sure if anyone's ever seen 10 of my videos. I certainly admit I don't exactly make exciting content. I'm just a random otaku who plays games or talks about random bullshit. Granted, I do try to be a little comedic here and there, and I'll try to make jokes, I'll try to talk about various weeb interests I have, like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, and sometimes I'll get sidetracked and go on a tangent talking about personal stuff. That's, well, no matter what, important to me, but maybe something relatable to some of you. Like, occasionally there might be certain things I'm feeling or going through that maybe somebody out there can relate to. And, heck, maybe just knowing that somebody else feels the same way might make them feel better. But it would be dishonest of me to say that I'm making this content really to help anyone, even though that certainly is an interest. I've made a few videos where I'm trying to give, like, pep talks to people and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, really the person I'm probably giving the main pep talk to is myself. I mean, I don't make a cent from anything I do on this channel, never will, and I don't think it's ever going to accomplish anything other than just what I want most of all, and that is just rambling at my fucking computer. Now, certainly don't get me wrong, if anybody wants to enjoy hanging out with me as this fucking nerd sits here and talks to himself, you are welcome to hang out with me. I don't think I can promise that it would be something you enjoy. But it's just, like, I really, really enjoyed it. I remember playing this game probably 20 times through, at least. It was... Then again, I remember back then I played like I played the Final Fantasy like 10 times through. But nowadays, I can't even go back to the old Final... Like, I think Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 5 are, like, among the best. But whether it's for a video or just casually by myself, I just can't sit down and just play the game like that without wanting to just do something else, or like, okay, I played for an hour, let's take a nap. But like the way the art is, like this here, whether, like, imagine this, any video game that you like, imagine a series of slides of just art. For example, you never see a picture exactly like this in the game, but being able to see it like this, I appreciate this. Being able to see a boss from your game and a really cool art style is awesome. Heck, I remember seeing like a huge, intricate painting of like Final Fantasy VI, where it was just... It was just so beautiful. It was that opening scene where, you know, the auto mech things are looking over, you know, a cliff and everything's snowy. It's just... Imagine that for any video game that you guys like. Like this, just a series of either snapshots of the game or art like we just saw, showing what's happening in the game. Heck, I've said it many times, some really great games for the NES came out in 1987. For example, by Bandai, you had Dragon Spirit, the New Legend. Sort of a remake of a arcade game, though the arcade version has a slightly different story. It has different art and music to a large degree, and the style of the gameplay is a bit different. I will say this, the NES version is much better and much easier. But I think both are very interesting. Plus there's various also alternate versions of the game as well that are very interestingly see. But like like even right here, you can see a mix of things. You have the actual game footage, and then you have this art style on the side. And of course, the art style is a bit changed here and there, like say the way the Steam Knight even looked compared to these guys. But I like it. Like imagine if you had a slideshow like this of Dragon Spirit: The New Legend, or Robo Warrior, came out in 1987 with the NES. And it made by the Jaleco, Japanese leisure company. That being said, what I was saying earlier about music is that stuff's 8-bit, and it's 1987, it's on NES, and yet the music, the soundtrack is so fucking awesome. And of course, I do have fond memories of playing Mario 1, Mario 3, and the original Spyro the Dragon with my mom when I was younger. So, but yeah, there's lots of various games that are just like, imagine this art like a slideshow snapshots of, like, say, Mega Man Legends, Mega Man Volnut, or just of any game you guys like. Heck, games I would strongly recommend. Heck, I remember playing Halo when it first came out on the Xbox, and again, that was the very first version of Halo, for the very first Halo. Again, that was also revolutionary for this time. And granted, while I do look forward to yet seeing the PS5 version of what those graphics can be, and any added modes and game styles or new missions and stuff, that'd be cool. But at the end of the day, I still like the original art style. It's like the Reignited trilogy for Spyro. Don't get me wrong, the art style and updates to the game, they look really beautiful. They look really, really nice. But I still like the original more. And I would still say I feel that even if you've only come to the Spyro series and you've only played the Reignited trilogy, I would recommend going back and playing, the older version too. But I mean, just take this. Look at what we're looking at right now. I like this. I like this art. But of course you never actually see this in the game. But imagine if you had art in this style. Which even then, what would you call this? Like, obviously it's great and amazing and I think it's awesome, but what would you call it? What would you call this art style? But imagine, like, Demon Souls, all three of the Dark Souls games, Elden Ring, Bloodborne. And then again, I made Lucidity videos where I was like walking around various VR chat rooms by myself. And it's just, I enjoy just beautiful environments. Heck, if I had the power to teleport, I'd be using the most lame... Again, look at this art. This looks awesome. But I'd be doing the lamest fucking thing I could do with it. And that would be, I'd be teleporting around the world, just walking on bike trails and hiking trails. I would just be teleporting the world just to look at beautiful scenery. I'd be the laziest fucking superhero ever. I wouldn't be saving people, nor would I be a villain. Heck, if I was a fucking Batman villain, what would I be doing? I'd just be following Batman around and talking to him about my feelings, and then we'd go to fucking Dairy Queen. That's... Heck, I'm somebody that very much supports the idea of people talking about their feelings. And yes, obviously, if there's ever a thing that bothers you, well, you should always take concrete steps to problem solve, to fix whatever the problem is. Like, if you're concerned about, something going on, obviously, like if you want to... I can't think of a good example, but, well, I don't know, say, get in shape. Well, go to the gym more. That being said, obviously, don't injure yourself, and obviously, it should be a supplement to your life. It shouldn't take over your life. But the main point is this. If there's anything you want to do, obviously you should take steps to solve whatever the problem is, or to improve whatever it is you have an issue with. Now that being said, you should also understand why you feel the way you do about things, as well as actually, care about your own mental health. And a lot of times, a great fix for that is just doing things you enjoy, taking a nap, or just talking about it. Even if it's... And I'm not saying do something as cringy as, recording yourself and putting it on the internet. It could just be essentially what I was doing before Let's Playing, which was just pacing around my living room or the bike trail, talking to myself. So, but the main point of that is just either it can help you reevaluate a situation to come up with new solutions, or it just at least placates your own sense of self to where you can just feel more at ease. If anything, things don't have to be perfect, and of course sometimes there will be things that bother you. You might feel sad. There's nothing wrong with that, and obviously again, if there are solutions you can take to fix it, that's great. But if not, then you can at least make steps to just get through each day as it comes, and to make life as happy and as worth living as it can be, and be thankful for all the blessings that you do have in life. But a lot of times it's just, okay, I know this is an odd thing. We're looking at art with art here. I don't even remember if this is here actually in the game or not. Like, I don't remember there actually is a painting on this wall inside the game. Been a while since I've been able to play it. Heck, it's not available on Steam or on the PlayStation Network. But yeah, I'm just saying. A lot of times, talking about your feelings, like say the way I'm doing, one, makes you feel better, and two, maybe other people can relate. So, as long as it serves some purpose that is beneficial, then that's good. Why is Connor there? You're in the pawn shop. This is the toy shop. It's like probably because there is no pawn shop music. Is there? I don't remember. And again, each of these shops has like their own unique music. Like we were just like had the inn music and the bakery music, which obviously you guys aren't getting to hear because, I'm talking. But, you guys see the channel I'm looking at right now. So, just... Heck, they have 333 subscribers, of which I am one. And this video was uploaded 4 years ago. And of course, you can topo the little mouse girl in the corner second side. You guys remember the VTuber Iron Mouse? That'd be interesting. Imagine if Iron Mouse did a Let's Play of this game.
Download Arkanites now to receive tons of rewards.
It's like, you saw Mouse Girl. You think about...
6-star operator. Plus, use the gifted voucher to...
It'd be like seeing a real-life fox and thinking about a fox VTuber. But yeah, I'll also say this. In Chapter 3, the restaurant, there's like a dungeon area with Bambis, and there's this, one of the sections has quite a bit of platforming. I think it's a really good platform. Again, there's a game called Blue Fire. It's also got a secondary game called Voidwalker that was available on Steam. I did a little bit of a Let's Play of it. The gameplay style of that platformer is actually very similar to the way this game is. Now, games I could definitely suggest to you guys, for the PS2, Grandia 3, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Wild Arms 3, Dragon Quest 8, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Dot Hack Infection, but yeah, I just made me think about this stuff more was I've been playing a little bit of The Outer Worlds 2. I made a little bit of a review video on it, and also I watched the Chainsaw Man movie that just came out. I watched it in 3D, by the way, so I gave a little bit of a recount of my day and how I was what I thought about the game and what I thought about the movie. The Chainsaw Man movie is really good, but it's just in The Outer Worlds 2 there's this stuff called Xyranium, which is a green crystal that releases poisonous fumes that's used for energy. Well, that same thing exists here in Brave Fence Musashi. It's called Benchotite, Bencholan, Bencho. So, it's the same thing. Also, you have the refractors from Mega Man Legends. But on the PS1, I mean, there's other games that are interesting. Also, PS2 Shining Force EXA. But you also have, like, the PS1, obviously the old Resident Evils and Silent Hill. Absolutely. And again, I'm still a fan of the old polygonal style. If anything, it just feels like I like the older version of the game. Like, I don't get me wrong, I like that they made a remake. That's awesome. But I still like the older ones better. But like on the PS1, you had like Gex Enter the Gecko, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Croc Legend of the Gobos, Jersey Devil, Sonic Shuffle, I think? No, I think that was a Dreamcast thing. Knew some of the Dreamcast, although I would play a little bit there. But back on the NES, there's Swords and Serpents Castlevania 2. Heck, they eventually came out with new games. A person called Cyvac. Like, he was inspired by I Want to Be the Guy, which is a game that was played by Ultra J Man, but he made a game series called Battle Kid 1, Fortress of Peril, Battle Kid 2, Mountain of Torment. But it's just again, I liked the music there. I liked everything about it. On the Genesis, you had the original Shining Force, you had Vector Man, you had Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. And I liked music, and like I remember there was a PlayStation 1 game called Cool Borders. It was like snowboarding. And I even liked the music there too. But in general, like I said, it probably loses its impact. Then I'm like, oh, this game has great music, and I like this track, and I like this music, I like this art. But again, it's just, if I like the music, I'm going to not only tell you I like it, but I'm going to listen to it more. And I'm going to look for more of the same type. And same with this art. It's kind of like the saying this, does it get old and does it lose its value if, like, I see a million anime cat girls and I say, oh, this one's beautiful, this one's hot, this one's hot, this one's beautiful, look at this one's titties. Like, does that compliment, like, it's like, Lunar passed by 1,000 women and said they all had awesome boobs. Doesn't make the compliments any less valid. But it's just the art style here. Like, even this, like, again, it's different from what we're seeing the other things, but I like all of these takes on this, and I'd like to see it on, like, say, Mega Man Legends, or Resident Evil, or Silent Hill. Like, let me know in the comments if there's any video game or anime or anything that you'd like to see this style of art of. Not that I can draw it, I can't. I won't even attempt it. But I'm just saying, if you like this art, let me know. What video games would you like to see art like this of? Now, I won't do it. I wouldn't even be capable of even attempting it. But I'm just saying, what video games and animes do you guys like that you want? Like, heck, even the same thing with animes. Like, there's animes that have great aesthetics and great music and a great story. Like, take Outlaw Star with Gene Starwind. It's only 26 episodes. And honestly, the story ends perfectly. There's no need to ever make another season, or a movie, or any new content for it. Like, everything is completely resolved, and it's perfect the way it is. But it's just like... I don't know. It's both entertaining and a comfy feeling when it comes to that, in terms of that game. But yeah, like... And there's a lot of older animes, like from the 70s, the 80s, that I think the art and the story and the music and the voice acting, I feel like everything across the board when it comes to those animes. And don't get me wrong, I like that there's new animes being made, and I like to be able to see new animes, or say if there's mangas or animes, mangas or light novels or video games that are suddenly getting anime adaptations. I still think that's great. I still like the idea of getting more content. But it's just, as much as I enjoy getting more content, I still feel very strongly that the older animes, many of which were made before I was even born, that I just feel they're superior in every way imaginable. The characters, the art, the animation, not just the drawings, but the way the drawings move and flow. I don't know if you would call that frame rate or whatever, but and just attention to detail when it comes to things, consistency of writing, people being devoted to the initial vision they had when they made it. Because there are sometimes makers of an anime or a video game will change the theme or the plot of a story in order to appease criticism from other people. And while on the one hand it's good to be able to adapt, it's just, I kind of feel like it's almost like it's a corruption of something pure.
Players enjoy a free 10 roll with a guaranteed 6-star operator. Plus, use the gifted voucher
And I can't say I really care for that. But yeah, I like animes like Dot Hack Sign and the video games like Dot Hack Infection. It's just, I'm not sure if there's ever going to be video games that make you feel like the way I did when I very first played this video game. Or if any of you out there care for a game like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, do you remember the very first time you ever played the very first versions of those games? Do you remember the first time you played Mario? The first time you played Mega Man? Any Mega Man? Do you remember the first time you played a first-person shooter? Do you remember the first time you watched, like, the early animes you watched? And of course, a lot of people would certainly mention animes like Ninja Scroll, or Princess Mononoke, or Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, or The Slayers of Felina Inverse. Of course, Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon. But anyway, I think I've said just about everything needed to be said. So I just want to just look through this art with all of you. Huh, that screw there makes me think of Tomogawa from Madoka Box. But it just, like, I think in particular, seeing this art style and stuff like this of, say, Mega Man Legends or Shining Force EXA or Dot Hack Sign or Dot Hack Infection. And I do strongly recommend to all of you to go to Topo's Groovy's channel and to listen to each of these tracks for yourself. And if you ever do have the opportunity, it would certainly be a good idea to play this game yourself. But let me know what animes and video games you guys like. Or, do you guys ever like walk on bike trails? Or hiking trails? Have all of you been sleeping okay? How many showers do you guys take? I take 15 showers a week and a couple of baths a month. Any new video games you guys been playing? New shows, new books? Drinking plenty of water? When was the last time you guys went outside and looked at the stars? Thoughts on anything? Like your experiences at the gym? Or stuff about AI or robots? Now this picture here you actually do see during the ending credits of the game. I will say this, it's always an interesting idea of like, imagine what the modding community could do with a game like this. But even then, I would still feel that if it's your first time playing it, you should certainly play the original version first. Because, like I said, while I am interested to see what like the modding community could do with it, I still think the game is perfect the way it is. But yeah, I'm just appreciating this art. Wanting you guys to go to this channel, listen to music for yourself, play the game if you ever have the chance. By the way, this character's name in this game is Tim, otherwise known as the Elusive Man. He's also in Mass Effect 2. The Elusive Man is saved. Does that mean Brave Fencer Musashi 3 is when the Turians attack? I remember freelance astronauts at Maxwell Adams doing a Let's Play of Mass Effect. Also like Prototype. Hey, you guys remember Crackdown for the 360, the first Crackdown? That was a good game. Yeah, a lot of these things, like I remember inside the booklet, these pictures being inside the booklet, person had to like probably copy and move the assets and move around like that, which is, I appreciate.
If you start using this one
I like
free
those little
tool to make
touches.
videos, you'll never feel bad about spending $10 on an iced coffee ticket.
This is Bubbles. The top right level was most interesting in my opinion. Has good platforming. Statue of Angel, it unlocks the Room of Angel. Yes, it's a Resident Evil reference. But like everything about this, both this art, the game, and just this, I like it. I like the music too, but you guys will have to look that up yourselves. But hey, at least you know where to go. Does she look a little off to you guys?
There's nothing quite like tiling. You can't find these views behind a desk, but if you're looking for ease,
my ear itches. Ginger ale. I remember the first time I ever played this game. I initially got a little bit stuck in Thirst Quencher, in the Twin Peaks Mountain, because I didn't know you could jump on trees. And you need to do that to get across the creek. And I also got stuck in here a little bit, had a few issues, especially figuring out that you could assimilate certain enemies you didn't think you could, which allowed new paths to be unlocked. If you ever find a tail under a girl's skirt, make sure to give it a tug. Still think it'd be cool if people would let's play this, but this game is relatively unknown.
This isn't the garage anymore. This is what comes next. You did what most can't. Turned one idea into thousands of shipments.
That sweating thing reminds me. A really great game for the PS2 was Zone of the Enders, the second runner. But in a mission where you have to save somebody and they wind up getting in your cockpit with you, is this woman with really big titties. Anyway, if you purposely fly your mech down close to the lava stuff at the bottom repeatedly, she takes off her outer layer of the clothing and you get a better view of her tits. The more you know. I remember EDF, Earth Defense Force 2017 for the Xbox 360. I think they're up to a 6. That was technically the third one. They're up to like a 6 one now, but honestly I think the third one was the best in the series. This game is a lot... This minigame was very similar to the game Thumper that I Let's Played. Which, if I can beat that, anybody can beat it. See those green crystals? Yeah, benchotite. Or refractors, or xyranium. This boss was a little odd to fight. Among the people you rescue are musicians. Now, the default is that when you do get to All You Can Eat Palace, the initial music you hear is just the bass guitar. Which tells me that the bass guitarist was never kidnapped. But depending on which musicians you can get different combinations of the music. Now the default of the music is the bass guitar. So the default of the music is the bass guitar track. But you can get tracks of all the other musicians, and usually the most common person you find first is the flute player. But I think each of these tracks in of themselves not only go very well together, but like I say, each of them goes very well. Like even each combination is really great. Though I think in bass, you need the bass guitar in all of them. And even the bass guitar by himself is still pretty cool. But again, everything from the background to the characters themselves, I like the art. I like the art a lot. It's so tempting to unmute the music that I have set.
Franklin University makes it possible.
Be unstoppable with a master's degree from...
By the way, Weenie the Clown and Sausages the Acrobat. This picture is also in the ending credits. And here's the boss fight where you get to fight against Iron Mouse. Topo. It's actually a whole lot of fun.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and he'll take care of you.
This is my castle now.
You can't forget the final battle against Frieza. This also is in the final credits of the game. By the way, the fortune teller and Wanda, probably the two sexiest women in this game. She's one of the first people you're told you need to rescue. And she works at the restaurant. Don't worry, Princess Flay and Jam are also quite cute too. And of course Topo. That being said, dot hack science and anime. It's cool. Dot hack infection is a video game, though I would suggest watching dot hack sign first. All right, I can. show you guys a few things. Um, yeah, I agree. DJC Dives Game Studios. I also have to say, Dragon Spirit the New Legend, very much up there. Heck, I remember requesting it to Zeta Plays. Heck, I even Let's Played it myself. See? I'm the one who requested this. That was a long time ago. Again, you have to look up the music yourself, but
Business checking has always been just checking.
so many ads.
Business essentials. Business checking combined.
Great music, by the way.
What's your first slur gonna be for 2025? Just look into my eyes.
Let's see.
Just think about what you just said. Think you're funny? Like, be honest. You're
Oh, this is cool too. Let's see. What was? Of course. I was hoping I could share a good video on that, but eh. This character here.
Next, you're gonna have to make your way to the Apple Market, go into the store called the Hip Phone, and talk to the lady behind the counter for the lipstick. After leave the museum, re-enter it, and then go.
But yeah, I've also seen art of this character. She is very beautiful. What is this? This Canadian animated film might be the most unique sci-fi rock opera ever made.
In 1983, a unique animated feature film.
Well, you guys gotta look that up yourself.
This isn't the garage anymore. This is what comes next. You did what most can't.
Hi there, it's Jamie from Pixel Discoveries, and today you and I are going to dive deep into the ruins of Mega Man Legends. 10 years following the release of the platformer, Legends broke free of the 2D world in 1997 and jumped into the third dimension as it rapidly became the new standard. I'll go over some of the more interesting discoveries that dig past constrictive camera angles and find some long-lost characters. So without any rambling, here we go! Our first discovery brings us to the scene after Mega Man defeats
I'll
the
show you
boss.
guys Zone of
He found
Enders.
himself on a high cliff with nowhere to run. As he makes a jump for it, Roll comes to the rescue, and Mega Man taunts the boss. Let's manipulate the camera slightly.
It's got a really great soundtrack to this game too. But I would say usually if there's a game and I like it, it probably has a great soundtrack. We're watching it at double speed, by the way, with the sound off. This is a great game. I think they did make remakes of it that are available on the PlayStation Store, though. So.
Position for landing.
MR1422, Dingo, egret, unlocked. 20 to touchdown.
That's unusual.
What is?
Indications of Metatron. It's way too shallow.
Metatron is not very deep.
And it's very strong. It wasn't here last time I came. What the hell is that? Orbital frame.
But this is a really good game.
Good morning. Ready for combat? This is detached backup battle unit, Ada. Do you request control instructions?
In the last half year, the situation on Mars has changed drastically. Now, Balron's war potential is very strong. The Space Force put up a stubborn resistance, but without a major war, Mars was occupied by Balron and Flash. Almon is already getting ready.
That being said, you are getting a unique experience here that you could, do yourself at any point. And that is watching it at double speed with all the sound off. Because there's a lot of talking and a lot of music and a lot of sound effects and explosion noises going on right now. But instead, you're just seeing the actual gameplay and cinematics at double speed, mind you. Now, apparently there's a triple speed option on YouTube, but you have to pay extra money for that. So, not happening.
Ada, please answer my question. You're going to Almon, aren't you?
So what if I am?
Do you know Ada intends to self-destruct Jackie on Almon?
Ada, please look after him. What are you doing on this ship anyway?
If anything happens to my pals at Callisto, you'll pay.
I didn't kill them.
I don't believe you. I've been dead once already. I'll bring it to an end myself.
No.
Look, the perfect fusion of Metatron. The destruction to end all.
But yeah, the music is phenomenal in this game. And the music that would be playing right now, and I'll say there's a lot of dialogue being spoken, like there is like constant talking. That isn't, me. But if you're like watching this, not only is there great sound effects for the actual explosions happening and music happening non-stop, but there's also the main characters are talking and having conversations. Like you're hearing game dialogue throughout this entire thing. So you're hearing the layers of explosions and combat sounds. You're hearing the layers of the music being absolutely forefront. But you're also hearing all the characters talking and having conversations. But it does also spoil a little bit of the story. But just enough to intrigue you into playing the game.
Do you realize how many of my comrades died back there? You are one of the units for Project Almon.
We're pals now, aren't we? Battle over. Anubis wins.
You have come back under my command.
You have done well.
Neat. So. You know what I just realized? Because I was looking over here and I noticed like this anime girl's ass. And I was thinking about something. You know how I'm saying like Kairi from Umineko? It's a visual novel sound I'm doing a little Let's Play of. Where it's by the same person who did Higurashi. Kairi. Like I know I've said, I think she looks very, very pretty. I also like her personality and she's very intelligent as well. But looking at this anime ass that I just saw, it makes me think about something. It makes me realize that Kairi from Umineko looks just like Ivy from Soul Calibur 2. What do you mean versus Leviathan? What on earth is happening later on in the game? Which I would... Oh, right, there are anime version of this that I have not... I'll put a like on this so I can come back to it later. But I don't know if I want to...
後ろ宮切り絵にはバトラを救えない。
Well, that's going to be depressing whenever we get to that scene.
Hey guys, check out my new camera. Oh wait, this isn't the camera.
Well, that was something. Alright, here I am. My video. You know, I could actually unmute it because it's me. But no. Also, look, a playlist of... Well, me apparently having ADHD or something.
Our parents were all stirred up, firing back and forth about the goal of the distribution.
There we go.
I do have to say.
But yes. Kairi, very, very attractive. But also looks just like only one letter L to Ivy. Though I don't like metal and leather.
If I could just slip away like you, I'd do it. Unfortunately,
I much prefer the outfit.
Spouses have it pretty rough too. Kairi-san took a deep breath, smiling bitterly. That's right. They probably wouldn't let Kairi-san speak since she's only married into the family. Still,
I much prefer
choice but to stay by his side and support him.
This outfit.
Of this mental pressure much more than me. I want.
And the gentler, more doting expression that she could have. But physically, she looks just like Ivy from Soul Calibur 2. But I like this outfit a lot better than Ivy's outfits because they have a lot of metal and a lot of leather. And don't get me wrong, there are a couple pieces of leather here and a few bits of metal, but that's fine. That little bit is fine. It's just, I like soft clothing and fabrics, and basically, I like the idea of Ivy from Soul Calibur 2, but wearing either an outfit like this, or various cosplays of other anime characters, video game characters. Namely, heck, soft frilly clothing. Like, heck, take the outfit that Princess Filet had and everyone's like, we don't remember. Oh, come on. Or is it Filet? Someone actually made how to make the Princess Filet Brave Fence Musashi in Soul Calibur 6? Okay, apparently I wasn't the first person to have this thought. Okay, Ivy and that.
Okay,
Neat. There's probably also Mega Man Legends ones of that. Roll Casket for Mega Man. Why is... Anyway, you guys... You guys saw the art earlier. We had like a whole hour of me talking over it. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go look it up anymore. What is... I had to type this in again. Oh, by the way, anything you see in my search history, feel free to look it up. Because, obviously, you should.
At GEHA, your
more ads!
Health benefits for
Why?
employees and retirees.
Why more ads? Never-ending ads.
Whatever your pace of life, at university.
Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur 2 was a really good game. I had it on the PS2.
Versus Cassandra.
But yeah, she looks like Kairi. But it's just, you see her outfit has a lot of leather and a lot of metal, and I don't really like that, because it would make cuddling very uncomfortable. Granted, obviously you'd be more both naked, but I'm just saying, I don't know. Some people are into like the whole leather and metal aesthetic. I don't really like it. So like I'm imagining her in like the outfit Kairi's wearing, or Princess Filet's wearing. Though many of these Soul Calibur games, a lot of the characters do have alternative outfits. Oh, here's Lucy Pyre.
Soul Calibur 2.
Everything loads so fucking slowly.
Today, so here's our primary outfit, and some other eyes. And here's this outfit that reminds me of that one character from Treasure Planet. Yeah, that one. And there's this outfit that the CPU loves to use. I mean, I don't blame them. I'm gonna use it anyway. So here's Valentine. Here's Mirage Blade.
I do like the various designs of the weapons too.
Makes her a glass cannon. Penetrates defense, but vulnerable to impact. So does every weapon. This the CPU loves to use, and no, I'm
Anyway,
not use it. I don't want to get double KO.
I suppose I should just find a good picture frame to end on.
This one definitely hurts her when she uses it, and her legendary weapon, which also hurts her when she uses it. This one makes boing sounds when she uses it. If I say anything about Valdo, I'll probably be facing him. He's probably using Cervantes' stage, which is not likely because the 6th stage will always be, I don't know, the jobbers or the guest characters or neck raid. No, she's long range.
I'm back. Oh. Heck, maybe I'll for a thumbnail. I'll use a picture of the art curator because I think she looks, well, very pretty. So What's this?
Oh, nice guard attack move there.
What's going on over here?
Accurate, of course.
They fixed Marion and made her traditionally attractive again. At least that is what many are saying regarding Double Dragon's famous damsel in distress. Last year, she was polarizingly redesigned as a powerful, strong, muscular woman in the American-made River City Girls 2. Rather than wasting all that time in the gym to try and get stronger than
What
men,
smash?
in the latest Double Dragon game, she has instead just sensibly grabbed a gun. But that's not all.
Anyway,
As you can see, with this
let's go and end the video.
she is depicted once again with a more
Later, guys.
realistic look.
Bye.
So